gonna make us do a thumbnail. Hey y'all, we are. Ooh, that was really loud.
Hey, it's your Butts in Space. I'm Alyssa Vasquez.
I'm Melissa Grayboy.
Happy Juneteenth and Father's Day.
Right, all of the things. Also, new space. Who's this? No, who this? I was being all proper. New space. Who this? We're working on it, y'all. I'm really excited. So we are gonna go ahead and make sure all of my devices are silenced and all of those things. And we are gonna jump into our push to start. If this is your first time joining us, we share something that pushed our buttons this week, whether it's good, bad, indifferent. Yeah, it made us feel something. So while I silence, do you want to go first, Mama?
Sure. Okay. So this week, a lot of times push my buttons, and I, to not go on another man-hitting tangent of things that have pushed my buttons this week. I got a new pair of shoes, and I'm really jazzed about them.
I love that for you. That is amazing. Oh, I've seen them. I was like, which shoes?
For our premiere, which we had yesterday, which is awesome. So stay tuned for details there. And Hacks is out. If you haven't watched Hacks, it's a great kind of not dark, but like dark-ish-esque comedy.
Yeah.
It's a reality. It's like real life.
It's a grounded comedy. Like, I'm stealing your push to start. Please keep going. Because I was gonna go off on Hacks.
No, I mean,
tangent.
Just because it's a push to start that push my button doesn't mean it can't also push your button.
Okay, great. Because we watched season 1 to support and watch Carl Clemens Hopkins. Love him to fucking death. He was the first person that we produced alongside. We did the mix and serve with him. Love him, miss him, and we're like, yes, okay, we gotta support Carl. We gotta do that. And
it was kind of hard to get into at first. I wasn't sure, but like, I don't remember what episode it was, but then I was like, yeah, I'm hooked.
It wasn't until season 2 for me.
Oh, really?
I struggled all throughout the first season. I was like, okay, it's not really my cup of tea, but season 2, like even the first episode, I was like, oh, I fuck with this.
They seriously, writers, production team, everyone hacks. Season 2 is, I feel like, a small pool of shows that like it gets better.
Mm-hmm.
Like in second
Stick
season.
with it.
Yeah, seriously, great job.
They're killing the game. Actually, I lied. It was the season finale of season 1.
Okay.
Because the way that they left everything, I was like, yo, bitch, you gonna get fucked up. It was, loved it. So new shoes and hats. I'm here for it. Not the sparkly tennis shoes, just the ones with the kisses.
I mean, general shoes.
Okay,
Yeah, I got shoes this week and they're great.
Okay, so my push to start this week was definitely, I learned a new word or a new phrase in context to consent. Yes, you did it. You made this happen for me. You posted the video on our IG about this therapist who has been working with sexual assault victims for X amount of years, and she said that she's no longer going to teach her son about the word. Well, not teach him, but she's going to approach consent differently. Instead of asking for consent in that way of like, you need to be an enthusiasm detective. Like, what's their body language? Are they saying yes, please? Like, are they excited about what's happening? Are they enthusiastic? Because if they're not, then neither should you. Like, if there isn't that, yes, I want this, then you need to take a step back and
assess.
Yes, and explore that, because you never know what someone was taught in terms of their body being their own.
And as anyone probably who is a survivor of any type of
assault, abuse,
like you freeze and you just like, you look away and you go to that place that you go to that is like, okay, well, I'm not here, so I don't have to.
I'm safe. It's fine. It'll be over soon. Like all of those. Like she even said, is their head looking down? Like, are they? And
yes,
it just it hit me in such a like heartbreak good way. Where I was like, oh my god, yes to this. Because as a survivor, I'm like, oh, I've fucking been there.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for that information and for framing it that way. I want more of that in sex education because not until recently I've had like a recent past partner like who was asking me in the midst of things if everything was okay and was like super tuned in to me and my body language and making sure, but also verbalizing and making sure everything was okay. And that it even more for me turned me on. I was like, oh my god, it's so thoughtful, but it's also so hot. Like there's a lot of weird things.
It's so sexy.
Yes.
It's great to have someone like
to care and check in and to make sure that, hey, like you're good here. Like you're safe. I've got you. And even if you don't want to do this, you are safe and I've got you and it doesn't have to happen. And so like just the term enthusiasm detective, I was like, yes to this, I want more of that. And I want to be a part of creating that kind of education and that content and that conversation. And so it pushed all of my buttons when I saw that. And yes, so that was my push to start.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
You want to choose. Okay. So if you watched our intro or saw the video on Instagram, you know today's button of the week is representation and Trojan horse allies. So,
I need to fix that in the thing later because I think I just put Trojan and allyship.
I mean, I feel like mostly it's Trojan horse ally.
No, you're right.
We'll update.
Yeah. We're gonna get there with y'all, guys. And well, no, everyone. Anyway, I digress. So we're diving into and pushing the Trojan horse allyship.
Hey, Matthew Perkins.
Hi.
It is Trojan horse allies and representation.
I'll fix the title later. It's been a long week. Bear with us.
Okay. So what is a Trojan horse ally? To me, that is someone who I think many of us have interacted with, someone who like comes across as being an ally to any other, but has a secret agenda.
Yes, yes to both of those pieces, and or even that
BJ.
Hey, mama. Even like within the hidden agenda is this element of being performative. Like it's what's trending right now. It's what's hot. This is gonna get me attention. This is gonna put me in the shine if I pretend to be an ally and push others forward and align with them. It's like jumping on the bandwagon. Like
today of all days, how many brands are jumping on the Juneteenth bandwagon?
Yo. Well, yeah, that's a whole other like
whole different discussion. That's a very easy one to point out without calling anyone out.
Yes,
in this moment.
So as we dive into this, I realized within this past even 2-3 weeks, I mean, it's been longer, but it just surfaced for me that is what happened for us at Buttons. I was like, well, ain't this about a bitch? We have been Trojan horse like a motherfucker. Like, it just...
I feel like mostly you.
Okay, but... Yeah, okay, but yes. Let me take a sip of my water while I digest that information.
Excuse me, I'm choking on myself.
Okay, so we're gonna dive into 2 examples so that we can further educate individuals on Trojan horse allyship, allies. So we're gonna start with this one. We recently worked with an agency. to create content for an insurance provider, digital social media content. And relationship going really well from my understanding in terms of Buttons working together with this agency. And we were informed that they would like to work with us again. And so I'm like, that is awesome.
Great. We love a reoccurring
Yeah.
project.
Yes. And so, however, part of our team has dissolved, and
We dropped an abusive person.
Yes, thank you. It's hard for me.
We dropped an abusive person from the team.
Yes. And said abusive person and I attempted to see if we could work together. It did not work. The agency reached out to the abusive person first to see if they were comfortable working with myself and Buttons. They said yes. The agency got back to me. I said, give me a moment. I will sit on I'm gonna sleep on the decision. I reached out to the abusive person and said, hey, the agency let me know. I'm okay with that. If you're okay with that, the terms of our contract are still gonna apply. I'm not gonna be as heavily involved, and like we will move forward. I got a reply back from abusive person, and it was abusive. And so I presented it to the agency, just facts. Here's
who you're working with.
Yes.
So you know who you're working with.
We, as Buttons, who you have asked to help you produce this content, we are gonna start looking for new team members to take over that position, which we contracted that abusive person for. Agency said, absolutely, let's do that. Great. Alyssa and I hustle our fucking asses off and reach out to people in our
circle, found some great
found amazing options, because y'all, this content is not rocket science. It's not fucking
If you ever see TikTok,
hello,
some of them are amazing, yes, but
anyway, yes. So said the options, couple feeling fucking fantastic. I'm like, yes, suck it. Anyway, we get a reply back. Actually, thank you so much. We're gonna stick with the abusive person. Excuse me, what? Okay, got it. Mind you, the owner of this agency heavily advocates for creating opportunities for people of color and women of color, and making sure that we are investing in them, taking risks, and providing opportunities. They have started a venture capital. They're a part of a venture capital, whatever the fuck it's called. And so on social media and performing this way that this is important. This is the change that we need to see. We need to give opportunities to people of color, women of color, diverse organizations. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, hold the fuck up.
It's really funny because it's not funny that it's still women of a specific color, beige, that say these things out of their mouths and yet do as I say, not as I do, is the action. And
I understand completely.
Business is business.
Yes,
we get that, and I think we've seen that in all aspects of business. I don't think anyone would say that their industries shows differently than, sadly money talks, and money does make decisions, and it's up to boards and people who have their heads up their asses sometimes and have no idea what's going on.
Right.
But yeah, there's a cycle that continues, and it's just like,
I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. I was more surprised than
I was not shocked at all. I have also previously worked with said agency, and it was a fucking nightmare. So yeah, it's sad when you're right about things that
that you hope that there will be a difference. You hope, and you give people the benefit of the doubt that they're going to do the right thing. Not even the right thing, that they're going to do what the fuck that they say that they're going to do. That's what bothers me, is the lack of integrity. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. And in this example, in this instance, you just showed me, this agency just showed me who and what the fuck they are and what they represent. And I was like, oh.
I was frustrated because of how much that you hoped there would be a difference. And in the pit of my being, I was like, I know that I'm right, and this is one of those areas that I don't want to be right, and I really wish that it would have been a real learning moment for myself to be like, you know what, give people a chance. Because I am such a negative Nancy, and you are such a like optimistic Opal, and
I've never heard
Nancy
that.
and Opal, I just made it up because I don't know. But you know what, you fucking are.
I fucking love that. That's fantastic. But it just, and I had to sit with it, business-wise and personal-wise, because there is a personal relationship there. It stung, and it was a reflection of America and where we are in society, and knowing that people of color have to push that much fucking harder all of the time and still do it with such grace.
And you have to do it with a smile on your face.
Yes.
And if you don't, then
it's like, oh, that's why we don't do business with you or them. Excuse me, but the fuckery you just displayed warrants this frustration. I was like, Alyssa, they are feelings. This is how you feel. I know they are rooted in facts. And it is systemic, and how, bitch, it was just one of those,
when like figuratively things become reality, but like it's the circle of like, this is,
and you're just trying to poke a hole in that fucking slow turning wheel of change. I'm like, I'm just trying, like, okay, well, we know that's not, that we don't have an ally there. And that is not someone or some agency we want to be doing business with or align ourselves with, because that's not who and what the fuck we are and what we stand for. And so that was reassuring. And then also making sure, yes, I learned from it, but also making sure, it's a little cheesy, whatever, I prayed about it. I was like, dear Heavenly Father and Mother, all of the things out there, please don't make me jaded from this. Please still allow me.
I'm the one who gets to be jaded. I'm the jaded bitch. You have to continue to be responsible for our success.
Yes. I was like, please let me still be able to be me. Do not let this harden me. Do not let this take away my grace, my just who I am and what I'm doing on this earth in this time. Because, yo, a bitch has been, I have been attacked left and right lately. Let me just motherfucking say it, because I'm like, I'm learning a lot.
Which is why I say most of this is affecting you, because
yes, you know, my beige presenting. yes.
Because so many people are doing this fuckery with you, and they don't fuck around with me.
Yeah, there was, I'm like, okay, the common denominator is me. What are we gonna, it's something that I'm working on in terms of also.
But it's frustrating for me, I'm sorry. Yes. It's frustrating for me because it's like, it's just an example of the generalization of how this happens to most women of color. Like, women of color continuously abused by someone, somehow, then also told, sorry, this is your fault, but like, this fucking white dude, gotta go with him because whatever, you know, and
it's because
I've generic talent paired with the beige can just kind of skate through. And
I've learned it's because they can / think that they can because they have continuously taken advantage of, abused. Yes, like, and yeah,
hello, today's Juneteenth.
No, bitch, I had that comment. I was like, yo, we are, like, it does not surprise me that we are here performatively, for some, not all, celebrating and recognizing Juneteenth, even though we still have fucking school systems that doesn't want to teach about it.
But also businesses who don't recognize it. I have to work tomorrow.
Like, it's I mean,
lots of people have to go to work.
Slavery existed. This is a thing, like, it's history. Like, what? Oh, we still want to. Oh,
we're still here.
We
are still here. We just don't have fucking Abe's wooden teeth in our mouths.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the teeth in enslaved people.
You know, we're reeling it back in with Thomas. Juneteenth will be another one that the guy.
Tangent. You know we're tangent.
Hello. So that is a detailed example, y'all, of an experience with Trojan horse allyship that myself / Buttons has experienced, and learning from it has been, it's been heavy. I'm still moving through that and being like, okay, we look, what I'm proud of is, even though we have made the business decision to no longer do business with this company, we are further standing in who we are, what our mission is, what we're about, and choosing who to do business with, and actually being about what and who we say we are. And that made me really proud that we are not gonna sell out for an opportunity or for money, because then, oh my God, y'all, I forgot, the motherfucking audacity. Said agency reached out to me in an email and asked if I could help them find talent for their new shoot. Nah, motherfuckers, you didn't want to go with Buttons. You went with abusive white individual. Like, no. Go ask them to produce, it's too late, whatever. Go ask them to produce that aspect. Did you not realize that you were going to need talent, and that Buttons is the one that made that happen last time? We are the one who produced this alongside of you. And that the individual that you went with showed up and captured it? Got it. Cool. Don't come to me to do your hard work after you have already told me. Absolutely not. And see, because they think they can. It was the audacity that even after their decision of like, oh, but can you still work for us, and can you still do this for free? Absolutely not. That is unethical. I'm not helping you find talent. I'm not giving you the talent that we have cultivated. Like, those are our relationships, and that would be unethical. Like, you can go do it on your own. You can go find those individuals. You can do the work. I am not doing the work for you any longer. And it just, I'm starting to sweat, y'all. And if you don't know, that's just like my body is feeling things, and anyway, getting low heated. So,
it's the sweaty days.
The sweaty motherfucking days. And so that was example one, experience one of the audacity of false allyship that we have experienced. And recently again, our last short film was a co-production and was heavily focused on making sure we represent women of color, especially queer women of color. For myself and for Buttons, we find representation is really important. As y'all know, diversity is key. Like, people want to see themselves in the spotlight. They want to see stories about themselves. And we felt it was really important to create a story that showcases that, but then also there isn't one way to be queer. So much of what's depicted on television, and yes, it is shifting, is this is the bubble or the box to be
this is a gay man.
Yep.
A lesbian, a
Yep.
woman.
This is a bi individual.
Yeah, bi person.
Yes, all of these.
Mostly women, I feel like.
Yes. That's a really good point. Yes. And so when someone in the LGBT community is watching these things and they identify a certain way, this is how I'm supposed to be because I'm also that. And it's really important to show that there are
the multifacets of
yes, the otherness. And it's not, yes, there is a character and they are queer. But it's more so that we showcase that we're all having human experiences and that's just a part of who we are. It isn't all of who we are. And so to represent that and to have it showcased during Pride, I was like, that is super fucking important and so huge. And so stuff just started going sideways with the co-producer that we worked with, and this individual had the audacity to say and think that they are the ones who stewarded and put this project together and that it was them, and because we are so new in filmmaking that, you know, we don't deserve the shine. We got pushed out of an interview that was supposed to take place today, and for the filmmakers,
just a little bit,
just a little bit, as y'all can't tell, was supposed to take place today, and the whole point that we were able to sit on that interview together is because the piece is about a queer woman of color, and the co-producer made it known to the festival coordinators that they did not feel comfortable speaking about and sharing their thoughts and perspective on a piece that they did not relate to, that it's not their space to speak on. And so that's why I was supposed to be there. And it's just so fascinating to me. And even in the Q&A yesterday, there were just certain elements of, oh, this isn't why you did this project with us. You were jumping on the bandwagon and creating a piece of content that you know is hot right now, that you know people want to see, you can attach someone to, so that then when the time comes, you can push those people to the side and you take all of the shine and the credit. Like, it breaks my heart because there's so much going on right now, pushing for diversity and, you know, and shining light on diverse voices and creating that kind of content. But so much of the time, some of the individuals that either are part of it, put money into it, like when it is time, like they want to be known for it. They're like, right. Oh, we did that, I did that, that was us, that was me. We let people of color do something. Excuse me?
Right. Here, have your gold sticker.
Right. You have to be known. Like, you can't just do it because it's the right thing to do. You still have to be acknowledged that you are creating this, like, that you are giving a space to shine and to be. And again, I learned, it's like, oh, because you're insecure, you need that shine. We shine brighter than you do, or that particular individual, not all. I don't want to generalize, but
or generalize, because maybe
it's very common. I'm learning, but still, it's interesting because I was like, Alyssa and I, and our mentor, shout out Shahada, love you to pieces, and our PR team, Brian Grosh, shout out. They were like, don't.
It's not worth it.
It's not. Let them go be performative, but let them stand up there in their insecurities, because this isn't it for Buttons. That's not the only interview we're gonna have. This isn't our only short film. Like, let them show an ass of themselves, and because it'll all come out. Like, because what's important is the work. So much of what I've learned, the work is going to speak for itself, no matter what you do. Like the work with the agency, oh, it's going to show that it's fucking mediocre and that you're just churning out the same thing that everyone else is churning out, and you're not taking any risks. And it's going to show later on down the line, probably like, oh, you were advocating for giving opportunities to people and women of color, but yet you actually don't do that in your own business? Huh.
Yeah, I think what's in my experience of working with different companies, with influencers, even content creators, a lot of times is this, like, everyone is like, yes, we have to have a diverse team. And I look at the team and I look at, whatever, the projects that they've worked on, and I'm like, there's one black person. Oh, you've got an Asian person right here. Oh, there's a tan person. But I'm not, question mark, Pacific Islander or Hispanic.
I'm like, do you really know what diversity means? Do you know what inclusion means? Not just performing to be those things, like what they actually are.
The thing is, they don't sell, and that's what's frustrating, is like it doesn't sell because no one's done it, and everyone at the top is so afraid of that. I mean, yes, both of these instances, we know the background details of that, but it's like, at what point will there be a point, I think is where my jaded ass is like, will there ever be a point when it's truly about more than just, okay, how can we make the most money off of this for the least cost? Because that's in a lot of cases, it's people work with diverse talent at the ground floor, in the production. I mean, we see it in warehouses. I currently work and have previously worked at places where the warehouse is all is brown people, and the layers up within the company get paler and paler and paler and paler, and then the person at the top's last name is Smith or Johnson, those types of things. And it's like, no one wants to give the labor a chance. No one wants to give someone who they don't recognize or they don't feel connected to a chance. And that's why we see the one person in accounting who is an other, the one person in the marketing team who's an other, the one person in sales who's an other, the one person in a movie who's not white, to carry the whole, all of that category. And it's like, there are companies who do it right, and they're small, and they don't have funding, and there are companies who do it wrong, and that's who we all recognize. So the brands we know, those are the faces we've seen over and over and over, so we don't even remember their names. So it's just like, oh yeah, CEO of whoever looks like the same guy or white lady as the last time. But like, when does that change in the greater scale?
Like, we're not. Do I need to stop being gracious? No, I'm.
I mean, and that's what I'm like. Yeah, like,
do we just get louder, or? But I know a part of that is creating our own example of that. Like, for sure, that is. It's like just catch-22.
There's so many small companies who are started, founded, managed, run by people with the same idea that we have in terms of practicing what we preach. Like, actually,
yes, they're out there,
but they're just, we don't see them yet. And I think that's where I need to like not be so jaded and like, okay, yes, the time is coming. Who's got the fucking crystal ball of when? I would like the date, whatever. But it's just,
I get hopeful that more businesses, more businesses and more people will be okay knowing that it's time to take that risk, that investment, and then that's exactly what it is, and you will get it back. Maybe you won't. Like, that it is, and
but how many things have been lost to the John Smiths that like how many companies right now are fucking laying people off that were, oh yeah, well this seems like a pretty dumb investment to me, but like because so and so knew them, they went with it versus putting that money into a company run by someone who they have no idea, but like actually has their shit together and knows how to be successful.
Right. Oh, it's huge. Like it's a huge risk. Anyway, we have gotten off onto, as we usually do. Yes, and so as it is Juneteenth, as we are in real time discovering these things in terms of, you know, allyship, false allyship, and as we grow as people and as a business, I am grateful for these experiences and these opportunities because it then gets us closer to where we need to be, who we are. I'm like, oh, so y'all motherfuckers don't, oh, you have no space here. Okay, thank you, bye. The trash is taking itself out. Thank you for showing me and us who we are. And please believe, I believe you this time. We will not be doing this again. Because no. No, we got shit to do. And guess what? We gonna shine regardless is something also that I learned because, you know, at the premiere of last short film, that's exactly what happened. I was like, I don't need the validation of an interview. I don't need to be performative because I am. Like I am, this is what I do, this is who I am. Like we are filmmakers, we are creators, we are artists, and we don't need other people telling us that because we're doing the work consistently. And so I'm like, oh, it hurt a little bit, but we straight, right? We gonna be all right. So that is this week's button.
This week's button.
Yes, and so now we're gonna switch gears. And Alyssa's gonna take us to our press replay.
This week is from a video we did on ghosting a few episodes back, so check that out. This comment is from our friend Matthew Perkins. Matthew. His comment was, sometimes you just have to get rid of the things holding you down. People use ghosting for many different reasons. 1, they're lazy, it's easy to ignore someone. Guilty. Facts. 2, they're selfish, you really don't care enough to have that conversation. Also guilty. And 3, they're compassionate. If you actually talked, you would say some mean and hurtful truths that they would not want to hear. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I have not said things to people because I was like, yeah, I'm going to say something that you need to hear and you're not going to take it. Wow.
Your feelings is going to get hurt. It's funny because originally when we were going to share this push replay, I had accidentally, sometimes your girl forgets who she ghosted, and there is like,
raise your hand if you remember everyone that you've ever ghosted.
Okay, good.
Not I.
You know what? Like, I'm terrible about saving numbers in my phone, and also, like, my DMs be out of control sometimes. And so, like, people get sneaky in terms of if I'm not responding to them via text message, they will show up in my DMs and try and talk to me. And, like, I'm generally a really nice and personable person. So if anyone like sends a comment, I'm like, oh, thank you so much, or blah, blah, blah. Like, and so it just, anyway, yeah, I had ghosted a few folks and then realized, I'm like, oh shit. And it ended up right back where I was when I ghosted them. But I didn't know I was re-engaging with the person that I ghosted. No, never.
This is why you save numbers. But like, wouldn't it have a message trail? Like you've messaged this person before?
Yeah, no, bitch. Well, yes, but in my DMs, it was just fucking like fucking emojis and shit.
Okay.
Versus an actual
text message ghosted them.
Yes.
And then in DMs, they
picked up the conversation.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I do notice those people because I'm like, there's a reason I'm not talking to you anymore. But I also say people's numbers as like, do not respond. Like, if I'm like, I'm not fucking respond, like, I'm done with them.
Interesting.
10 you need to do that.
Yeah.
But, okay.
I think they'll just start getting like a DVR. No, wait, what did you say? Do not respond. DDR? Jesus Christ, I can't stop.
DNR.
Oh, bitch, yes.
Do not bring back to life.
Yes, I'm gonna start DNRing people in my
Okay, but back to your, back to you in re-engaging with this person. Mm-hmm. So how did that, at what point did you realize, oh, this was not the person to respond to?
When we were about to go hang out. Yikes is right. I was on my, it was either before or after, it was after my birthday. I was on my, I'm out here on my hot girl summer shit before I got into therapy and realized, bitch, you don't need to be dating. You don't need to be sleeping with people. You need to worry about yourself. And so it was, I was like, oh yeah, I'm feeling cute. Let me talk to people and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, while they were on their way over, I was like putting the pieces together because I got a text message. I was like, bitch, you are the same people? Fuck.
It's sad that on Instagram you can't add a
phone number.
Or just a note.
Oh, that would be
honestly nice. Though, if there are people in my phone that engage with me via DM that I'm and I'm done, I just block them or there's not report, but there's a restricted feature that I'm and done. I don't want to engage with you.
I find it interesting though because some people don't realize that they have been ghosted. So
there's a fine line, I think, though, between being ghosted and just someone being busy. I will speak for myself and for how it is here in LA. Sometimes you genuinely you don't have the time and you unintentionally don't reach out to someone, and then you bounce back. And also on the hopeful side, you're well, yeah, I hope they're busy. You know what I mean? Because life happens, mm-hmm. And I think that's we allow life to happen for some people, but also it's really hard in most women's experience, for a man to understand, no, I don't.
Take a hint.
This goes back to enthusiastic.
Yes, enthusiasm detective. Yeah, y'all, if they ain't fucking enthusiastic, in their responses, even in text messages and DMs.
And even if she is busy, I'm being very female relationship to male specific because that's my experience and that's what I know. So I can't speak for everyone else in between. But if a woman is going to be enthusiastic but also busy, she'll let you know. And
I'm busy.
Up to you to accept that and move on. But if someone isn't enthusiastic, if they're not asking you how you're doing or checking in, there's a big chance that
they're not
interested
or they're not there to be interested. I have experienced that female to female in terms of that enthusiasm, even when we were both busy. There's still within the 48-hour window of hey, I've been busy, but would love to catch up.
Just wanted to drop a line to make sure you see this is extended. And
thinking about you,
it's frustrating to be the one ghosting someone that you don't know how to have a tough conversation with, female to male relationship, because of literal safety. I just posted today a story about a 17-year-old girl who was killed by a coworker for rejecting his advances, and he couldn't take no for an answer. I think every few days there is a femicide attack where a woman, I'm going on another tirade, and I don't hate men, but it sounds like I do a lot of times, but it's just the reality of men really need to understand how to be enthusiasm detectors, how to accept no, that they're not for that person, and like kindly move on. And as women, it is so hard to be able to just say no to someone and like be able to move on your happy way. Thankfully, in this instance, it was like, you know, a little more comical than like
it was
stressful,
very
it
comical.
sounds like.
But even in my times of ghosting, I have had, unfortunately, 3 experiences where it turned into like dangerous stalker status,
where we had to be really paranoid about many things.
Mm-hmm.
That something would happen to the cats because men are fucking psycho sometimes. Like that something would happen to either of us. Something would happen to you in any port of transit. Like,
yeah, I was sharing location and letting it, like, people know I made it, I'm home, I'm here. And I'm like, fuck. Anyway, we digress. Ghosting. Yes.
Yes, Matthew Perkins, thank you. Most men can't take a hint, nor can they take rejection, so some men never get in that they're getting ghosted. It's true, and I think this, thanks to that mom for teaching her son enthusiasm, to be an enthusiasm detector. Something that I think my sister, my family is working on, like teaching our little budding human man.
I love how you just said that. Little budding human man. Yes, he's budding into a human man.
But you know, we are trying to teach him to be gentle and to watch for things, and you know, he's very polite and understands that. But like women and others like are teaching them how to have those conversations, and I'm like, I wish that I was taught that. I think many of our parents now also wish that they would have taught their kids that, and
that we don't get everything that we want.
We don't get everything we want, and you have to accept no. I don't know. I may be projecting. I don't know, but yeah, it's just
no was a word. Well,
as
being told no in like my childhood and being raised was like, oh, bitch, you ain't gonna get what you want.
I mean, yes, for a lot of things, I think I'm always like, well, I'm not gonna get this, and you're like, well, did you ask? And I'm like, well, no, I asked because I'm gonna hear the word no. Like I'm gonna hear it's not possible, so like I don't even bother. And it's
interesting.
Yeah,
and so used to being told no, where I'm like, well, fuck, I'm asking because all that's gonna happen is they're gonna tell me
yes. Your boldness in asking for things always doesn't trigger me, but it activates me in a weird way because I'm like, oh, you can do that, and like nothing bad is gonna happen to you. It's wild. Psychology.
Yeah,
whatever.
More so than just things. Like asking for help is a different story. I'm getting better. Aren't we all trying to get better? But yes, okay, so we made it full circle. We've got our push to start, our button of the week, our push replay, and
we're back at be enthusiastic in what you want and watch for enthusiasm in what you're participating in to make sure it's really there.
Yes. And excited about our new space, and we are gonna get back to regular scheduled buttons of the weeks and like surprise bonus lives. We're gonna keep y'all updated on our schedule.
If you have topics you want us to talk about, tangent and rambling included.
It's part of the regular scheduled program now, y'all. We'll go this way. We'll always think of that.
We will do our best to full circle. Because I feel like this was the best full circle that we've had.
New things are happening, okay? And we are adjusting and we are growing and it is great. And we still pushing those buttons. So, that was super cheesy and I love it.
Like all of our videos, comment on them, follow us here, follow us on Instagram, anywhere else. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, RSS. I'm still trying to figure out how to make Apple Podcasts work. Eventually we'll be there. And DM us with questions, comments, feedback, all of the above. Thanks.
Share and support. Yes, thank you. Love and appreciate y'all. We will catch you next time. Bye. I'm gonna push the button to turn this off. In stream. Yes, I said yes. Hey.